there, everyone. How are you? This is Alicia at New VA Advice, where I offer business, marketing, and mindset coaching to help virtual assistants get out of overwhelm and create a business that they love. So welcome. If you are watching here live tonight, feel free to comment, say hello, tell me where you are joining us from. If you are watching on this recording, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Either way, feel free to leave comments in the comments section as we go. Again, whether you're watching live or recording, leave comments, ask questions as we go through this. And if it's something that I know I'm already going to get to at a certain point, I will let you know that. Otherwise, I'd be happy to stop and answer if there's something that you need a little more clarification on. So what are we talking about today? Well, I polled you to ask what is most important for you to know right now. And a lot of people said they wanted to know about those first steps in getting started in their virtual assistant business. So what are those things that you have to do first? So I don't mean what's every single thing that you need to do to set up your business, but those first couple of things. Because let's face it, this concept is overwhelming, right? I felt that way when I started. A lot of people feel that way. So if you're feeling that way, you are not alone. And yes, you feel like there's so much to do and there are so many places to get the information, and what do you do first, and who's right, and who can be trusted, and it's hard, right? Because I know I felt that way too. Hi, Carrie. Thanks for joining us. So my goal today is to try to take that overwhelm out of it for you and give you those first couple of steps. And as I go and give you these steps, I'm also going to give you reference points. So I'm going to mention links to whether it's articles that I've written or somewhere else where you can find out more. And I will put them, if not in the comments, then this will end up being a written post at some point with links. And then you'll have those to reference as well. Okay. So when it comes to starting out in virtual assistant business and what to do first, let me just preface this by saying there's not just one way to do things. And I think you all know that, but I just want to bring that up. Take what resonates with you today. And I am going to share things in a particular order that worked for me and worked for other successful virtual assistants. So this is a proven way. These are proven first steps, but it doesn't mean if you did things in a slightly different order or started in a different time frame in your business that you're wrong. Okay, so I just want to, start with that. So the very first thing that I recommend when starting virtual assistant business is that you want to make sure that your idea for your business is viable. So what does that mean? So it means that you've put some kind of research behind this that tells you that this is something that can work and can make you money and be a real business long term, because that's what you're looking for if you're here anyway and learning from me. You're learning about creating a real business. You're not just doing quote unquote jobs online or taking work online or trying to do a little something. You're here because you want to create a business. You're making a lifestyle change for you and possibly your family. That's what we're talking about today. So you want to make sure that it's viable first. So the first thing to really think about is the services that you're going to provide. What will they be? Is there a market of people who will buy those services? So who are you helping with the services, and can they afford to pay you? Okay, those are really the big things, the place for you to start. So in thinking about that, I usually suggest start thinking about your services and what you already know how to do now. Sure, you can add things to your business later and add to your skill set and take courses or learn something from a client if they're paying you to learn something. But I just mean right now, you're starting out right off the bat. So look at the skills that you already possess. What skills do you have that you can turn into services? So look at maybe your current job or past jobs or life experience or volunteer experience or courses that you've taken. So what services can you provide right now? And then who needs help with that? Who could pay you to do those services for them? That's the basis of it. So you can do a little research. Some people already know right off the bat. Some people tell me, when I mentioned to a certain group of people in my life that I was thinking of doing this, they already said, I'd pay to do that. I'd pay to have somebody do that, right? If you don't know, then do a little research. Is someone getting paid somewhere to do this kind of work? Sometimes you can find out in other VA groups. Sometimes it's just a matter of searching online to see if this is a real thing. Or you could talk directly to the market that you're interested in working with and asking, would they work with someone to do this kind of thing? Would they pay someone to do this kind of work? I've definitely had coaching clients who have put it out there, have surveyed and polled their target market because they were in a position where they just weren't sure and they wanted to know that before they took a next step. And they were able to find out if it made sense for that market that they were going after or not, okay? So that's the first thing. The other thing that comes with this is, I'm just going to reiterate that what I said was look at services that you can provide now to start off with. And yes, you can add later or you could change later, but think about the skills that you have now and what services you can provide. I don't want you to be in a position where you just say, because you want clients, yes, I'll work with anybody and I'll do anything. And then somebody comes to you and they're interested in working with you, but you have no idea how to do the thing that they're asking you to do, right? I don't want you to be in that position. Now, I don't mean if it's something, oh, well, you know how to use a particular program and you've just never done X, Y, or Z in that program, but I'm sure you can figure it out. Not that simple stuff. I'm talking about taking on, like, you have no experience whatsoever in Facebook ads and somebody comes to you and says, I want you to set up my business with Facebook ads, and you say, sure, and then you go try to figure it out. That's not really what we want, right? We also want to make sure that, we're giving this industry a good name, and so you want to focus on what are you already good at. That's where you really want to start. What can you do now? And like I said, you can add on to that later. And also with the things that you can do now, think about the ones that you really enjoy doing, because I want you to love what you do. I want you to love your business. So, if there are certain skills you have, but you really can't stand to do that anymore, maybe you've done it in your past job, you can drop them off and let them go, and it's okay to not offer them, especially if it's something that you don't enjoy doing. You're going to start resenting your business and those new clients that you just got, and you're not going to be happy. So it is okay. I'm giving you permission to make this business what you want it to be. Okay, so the next thing to think about is to schedule in time to work on your business, because I want you to take this seriously. So I really want you to think about in your life right now, because some people might still be working full time, or some people might have other responsibilities that take up their time. I want you to be serious about scheduling in time to work on your business. It's really important to do that now, because this is something that will help you transition when you get clients. So you make up a schedule that works for you. No, it doesn't have to be a 9-to-5 schedule. We don't have to do that anymore if you don't want to. If you do like that schedule, that's fine. But again, I'm telling you, I want it to be what you want it to be. Now, to start out, maybe you're still working full time, so you need to work this around the hours that you have available. Totally okay to do. Hey, Crystal, thanks for joining. So if that's the case, or whatever the case might be, I just want you to take time to really be conscious about thinking about how much time in a week can I put aside to work on creating this business. Maybe it's a couple hours in the morning before anyone else is up. Maybe it's the evening after everyone else goes to bed. Maybe you get a lunch break that you can leave work for and work on something. Whatever it is, I just want you to give yourself that opportunity. Take it seriously, take yourself seriously, and give yourself your best chance. And creating some kind of a schedule that you're going to use as work time right now is the best way to do that. It can change later, and that's the great thing about having, be your business. It can change whenever you want it to. But just pick some kind of scheduling time that works for you right now, that you say, all right, this is business building time, whatever you want to call it on your calendar, and honor it when it comes up, because you deserve that. Okay, so what else do I want to tell you about that? I always have notes because I don't want to forget anything good. Okay, so the next thing would be to really think about a plan for this business and some goals, okay? When I say business plan, I don't want you to get scared if you've never done one before. It doesn't have to be some big, crazy official thing, but it can be. There's a ton of free business plan templates online that you can use. You just need to, I want you to make a plan for what you want this to look like. What are some short-term goals and long-term goals? What do you want this business to be? What do you want it to be now? What do you want it to be 5 years from now? Give yourself some kind of a plan, and then you're going to know what to do with that scheduled work time, right? So you create some kind of plan and set some goals. Out of that, you'll turn those things into to-do items. So then you have kind of a master task list, let's call it that. And then when you get your business time that comes up on your calendar, then you know what you're going to work on. Right? It's not so overwhelming then. You can say, okay, well, I have my plan, I have my goals, I've turned those into to-dos. Let me check my list. What am I working on? and you just go step by step, one step at a time, one piece at a time. I promise you that's how a business is built. Hi, Nikisha. I hope I'm saying your name right. One step at a time. Again, it will help take that overwhelm out. The other thing I don't have on here, but it's something that's really important when it comes to this, is I want you to put your blinders on and don't worry about how exactly everybody else is doing their thing and building their business, or worrying that someone's going to get to it before you or get all your clients. I promise you it's not that kind of thing in this industry. There's going to be things about you and your services and the way you run your business that make you unique, that will make you a better fit for particular type of clientele. And everyone is that way, okay? So please don't worry about what everybody else is doing or how fast they say they got up and running and got clients. The other thing is, you know how just like when you see things on Facebook, you're only seeing a portion of someone's life, this little piece that they have put out there for you to see. You're not seeing all the behind the scenes stuff, just like how no one is really an overnight success. So it's the same thing with building your business. If you create that plan for yourself and the goals and turn those into to-do items, and then work on those to-do items on your schedule when it comes up, that's you being consistent and taking action and building the business that you want. So when it comes to that whole making a plan and scheduling time and creating your goals for your business, I actually have a product that I've created for that. It's what I use every year, and I look at it more than just yearly, but you know, you have to start somewhere with it. I use this every year. It's kind of a process that I go through to set those things up for myself, and then I use worksheets and things to write it all out and keep myself on track. And then I can look at those things all the time to remind me of what's important and what I want to be working on in my business. So that is called the Ultimate VA Business Planning Blueprint. I will give you a link to that, but that's a great product that's affordable, that will help you with those first steps of, like I said, planning, goals, and scheduling your time, okay? Next, the next thing, like I said, I have a couple of what I consider like the most important top things when you're starting out. Next thing would be to find out about the legal stuff. Yes, I just called it legal stuff, but depending on where you're living, the laws are different on owning a business and what you need to do to be legally set up, okay? I can tell you, for me, this was a tough part to find out about, because I felt like whenever I asked about that, everyone would say, well, I can't tell you because it's different for everybody. And I totally got that, but I didn't know where to look. Okay, so then where do I find that information? I get that. So I have an article that I will also reference for you that's all about legal stuff in your business and where you should be looking. For example, SBA.gov, especially if you were here in the US. Great place to go to find out information legally, what is required of you, because it also depends on the state that you live in, the country that you live in, whether you have to register a business name or get an EIN tax number. That's different depending on where you live. So you want to take some time to investigate that for you. And yes, I'm telling you that same thing, that I can't tell you the answer, but I will give you places to find those answers. I don't want to just leave you with that, okay? So I'll add that in the link too. You could also at any time, just so that you know, if you go to my website, newvaadvice.com, there is a search bar on the right-hand side. You could type in like legal or legal questions or legal setup, anything like that, any keyword that you want to know about, and you'll find one of my blog posts that goes with that information. So you don't always have to wait for me to, you know, to give you these notes that I'm telling you that I'm going to give you. So SBA.gov, your local SCORE office, that's SCORE. It's an acronym, but basically the whole idea is it's established business people that help new businesses set up, and they give them free information and advice. And to find a chapter near you is the best thing to do. Again, it's referenced in that article, because then they're going to tell you the information that you need to know for where exactly you live. So that's the difference. So like I said, those are things like if you need to register your business name, if you need to get an EIN tax number, things like that. So the other things that comes in with that is considering making sure that you have a separate bank account for your business. So the money is going into this separate bank account. So it's separate from your personal finances. That's really the difference here. Doesn't need to be some big fancy thing or account. Doesn't need to be overwhelming. You need a separate account for the business. So you have business and personal separate. And then you need some kind of way to track your income and expenses. And again, there will be references in the article about this, but you can start out pretty simply. You know, for example, let's say you are using PayPal to collect your money from clients, and that account is just for your business. You can print reports off from there for your income. You can track expenses a number of different ways. You can even, when I first started out, I used an Excel spreadsheet to track my expenses until I found some software that made it easier. But there's all kinds of free software out there for that. These are just those, legal and tax background things that you have to look into before you get started. So like I said, it's different depending on where you live, but those are the basic things that you want to know about. Do I have to register the business name? Do I need an EIN tax number? I want to make sure I have a separate account and that I'm tracking income and expenses. So those are like kind of the basics. Let me just take a sip of water. Any questions so far? Let me check the live feed here. Questions, comments? We have a big thunderstorm that's just ending and the sun is coming out. So I was hoping that we didn't lose the connection. So far, so good. Okay, so that's the legal stuff. The things that we've gone over so far, this order of things that I feel are important to start with. If you have subscribed at newvaadvice.com, you get a number of freebies for doing so when you subscribe to being on my mailing list. One of the things that you get that people find very helpful, they tell me all the time, is the Ultimate VA Business Starter Checklist. So basically it's a free checklist where I've outlined some of these points, and they say, right from the beginning, like I mentioned, let's say the first thing is about services, but then I give you links. Okay, well, where do I find that information? Click through the links and you'll find it. So that checklist gives you this order of things that I'm suggesting and so much more than we've even covered today. Like I said today, I just wanted to focus on those very first steps and get you out of that place of overwhelm and give you a way to take action. So you check out that checklist when you sign up at newvaadvice.com, and you'll see that they're listed in there, and then there's links for each and every piece so that you don't feel that feeling that I felt when I started out, where I finally got an answer from someone that said, well, you need to find out this. And then I'm like, okay, where do I find out this? So that's why I made the checklist. I know what else I wanted to mention. With the legal stuff, you can also look at having a free consultation with a local business attorney. That could be super helpful for you, again, because they're local to your area, so they will know the business laws. So, look for business attorneys, and a lot of people do offer free consultation. You could at least just go in and ask some of your questions to see if you're on the right track or find out where you should be searching for that information. Okay. Next, the next thing you want to think about is, with those services that you've decided that you want to provide to people, what do you need to provide them? So what software might you need? What physical things? So we all want to have a computer and an internet connection. From there, it's going to depend on what services you're offering. I'm telling you right now, you don't need to start with all the bells and whistles and every program out there and the highest form and the pro this and the pro that. You don't need to. I just want you to think of, okay, if I got a client tomorrow for these services that I want to offer, what stuff would I need to do that? So internet and computer, that's pretty much a given, no matter what. From there, some people need a separate phone line, depending on what you're offering. Some people don't. There are all kinds of services for that online now. What else do you need? Are there particular software programs that you need to do your work? So for example, if you're offering graphic design, you're going to need some programs that are specific to graphic design. But if you're not, you don't need to worry about getting some pro design package. There's also a lot of free things out there, or very cost-effective things like Canva or PicMonkey, where you can do a lot of image creation that's not high-tech design. Okay, so I just don't want you to think that you have to go out there and get everything that everyone else is mentioning online right now about, the things to have to start your business. Take it one piece at a time. You might find later that you need something else, but you know what? You can add it later. I started my business very lean, so I only started with the tech tools software that I needed absolutely to get started, and then I added things as I went that I found were really helpful. There's also a lot of things that are offered for free or free trial basis that you can try it out and see if you like. What other things do I want to mention as far as that goes? So, right, it really depends on the services that you're offering. I mean, sometimes having a basic Word package, or it's different, on a Mac, but a lot of things nowadays also can convert, so if you use one type of, document like that, it can convert to something else. That's the great thing about technology in the world that we live in right now and getting started now. Okay. So the next thing I wanted to mention to you, this isn't like an item on the list of things, but it's something that I feel is important, is make sure that you are learning or getting this information from reliable, reputable sources. So just like we've talked about, when finding clients, you want to watch out for scams. It's the same thing when you're thinking about who is giving you this information that you're following, okay? I'm in a group with some other VA industry experts, and we've been talking about how there are some people popping up and they're offering VA advice and training, but maybe they've only been doing this for a little bit of time, so it's hard to for them to be passing on that information when they don't have a ton of experience with it yet. So I want you to really think about who is providing this information to you and how do you know you can trust them. Remember, you have the internet at your fingertips. You can Google and research and check on anybody you want, okay? So if it's someone who's providing you information, see where that information is coming from. What do they know? Have they been in this industry for a while? Have they had a VA business themselves? If they're offering a course, are there testimonials or case studies? Can you talk to someone else who took it to see if they felt that it was helpful for them? There are VA industry, or what's the word I'm looking for? VA associations, that's what I'm looking for, that you could always check with them and verify that this person you're getting information from to see if they're legit. Okay, so there are organizations out there for Canadian virtual assistants. There's Global Virtual Assistant. There's IVAA. I also have an article that I will reference that gives you some of those industry associations that are trusted. It's also what I really try to do here at New VA Advice. Because I wasn't sure who I could listen to and get good information from when I started, that's the whole reason why anything that you see me recommending on my site anywhere, it means that either I've checked it out, I've used it, another VA has used it, or I've done it myself, and I can trust those people and the products that they're creating. So please do your due diligence just like you're doing on all these other things. I want you to succeed, therefore I want to make sure you're getting good information from the right people, okay? So look at things like that. How long have they been in the industry? Do they really know what they're talking about? Do other people say good things about them? It's okay to ask around, because that's the thing, we're all traveling in the same circles, right? I know that this is not the only virtual assistant group that you're in. So ask around and see if anyone's worked with those people. And if it's someone, for example, that you want to coach with one-on-one, they should have no problem if you want to talk with some people that they've worked with. Of course, you can look for testimonials and things on their website, but if you want to actually have a conversation with someone, now, of course, they need to check with that person and make sure there's no confidentiality issue there, but, like, for example, I know I have current and past clients who'd be more than happy to talk to someone new who was looking to work with me and tell them honestly what they thought about that experience. Okay, so it's just something that I want to bring up. I know that you're eager to get started and get out there and grab whatever you see out there, but just be cautious like you would on anything else and make sure that the person is legit, that this isn't a scam, that they know what they're talking about, and the information is reliable so that you get what you need to succeed. Okay, so to me, those are some of the top most important things. Now you'll notice there's some things I didn't cover. From there, you want to look at things like pricing your services and making sure you have some kind of client intake process for when you do get clients, and then marketing your business. But to me, those aren't the first things that you need to do. Those first things are the ones that I just mentioned here. I also want to notice that all of that did come before getting clients. Like everything that I mentioned, I didn't say anything about getting clients yet, did I? Or looking for clients? No. I know it's the first thing we all want to do. We want to be successful. We want to get that first client. But I'm hoping that this helps open your eyes to see that there are some things that you need to do first to get in order. And I'm not saying don't network now. Yes, tell everyone you know what you're doing. Be proud of it. You should. Yes, you can be networking now and getting, like I said, do that market research if you want. Talk to people who are in the industry. Talk to others who might be interested in what you're doing. You can do that networking and be proud and tell people what you're doing. Absolutely, do all of that. But I also want you to be working at these other things in the background so that you know that you feel that you're ready, that if someone came to you tomorrow and said, I want to work with you. Okay, what happens next? If you get some of these things done and out of the way first, you're going to feel a lot more prepared for that, okay? So I want to recap the steps kind of that we went over. My suggested first things when you're very first starting out. So we have making sure that it's a viable business idea first. knowing the services that you want to provide and who you're providing them to, who can pay you to do that, making some kind of plan and goals for the business, scheduled work time that you're going to commit to making this happen and taking action, thinking about software and things that you need to provide the services that you want to provide, and the legal background stuff that has to happen. Okay, so to me, those are my big firsts. Like I said, not everybody does everything in the same order. It is okay. There's no definite right and definite wrong when it comes to this. Your business is your business, but I'm here to help you with my experience, what's worked for me to create a successful VA business, what's worked for other VAs that I know, VAs that I've coached. You know, if you take these steps, and it's not as exciting as saying, let's go out there and get these clients, but it's all part of building a business. And this is a real thing. And I want it to have a solid foundation for you. And I want you to feel good about it and proud about what you're doing. Okay. So like I said, I'm going to give you some kind of written form with notes to links to articles that will help you with these different steps and lead you in places that you can find the answers that you're looking for. And like I said, one of the big ones is my ultimate VA business starter checklist that you get free when you sign up at newvaadvice.com when you subscribe to my list. So you can always look for that. If you're on my list and you've gotten that checklist, but you don't know what you did with it, feel free to email me, message me, comment, and I'll be happy to send you another one of those. Questions, comments, was this helpful? Crystal says, I always enjoy watching your live videos, so helpful. Oh, thank you, Crystal. I like doing them. I'm glad that it's helpful. So yeah, those to me are the most important first steps. Now, of course, you can get this information. You can look at the links of things I provide and my products that I sell, and you can absolutely go at it and do self-study version of this and make it happen for you. But if it's something that you feel like you need a little more help with to customize it for you and your business, I am available for one-on-one and group coaching, and I love helping people start their VA business. I help with startup of the business, and then I also help with marketing of your business. So if you are in this phase, if you're watching this now, it probably means you're in that startup phase, and a lot of these boxes that we've ticked today, those are things that you're working on. I would love to help you through that process and do it. So like I said, I have one-on-one options. I have affordable group options for that. We customize it, or I customize it for what you need. So we're taking these pieces of here's the things that we have to do, but then how does that relate to you specifically and your business? And then that's what I help you do. And I keep you accountable, and I give you references for these things. Often that means a lot of my paid products you get for free. And then if along the way there is someone I can connect you to that helps you with pieces of this process, I am always happy to do that as well. So my network then becomes your network of people as well. So questions, comments, leave them below. I hope that you found this helpful. I don't want to keep you all night and make this forever long, but I really love spending this time with you. Hope that you had a good time, and I will let you know when of course, this replay is available in the Virtual Assistant Empowerment Facebook group for whenever you want to stop in there. But I will also be setting up replays on the blog and on YouTube. So I hope that's helpful. Crystal says, you really take a lot of the fear and uncertainty out of this for someone who is just getting started. Good. Awesome. That's my goal, because that's the thing. If you just take it in these bite-sized pieces and you have a good plan of what has to get done, and then you break that down and you work it piece by piece by piece, one step at a time, what's the one next thing you need to do? That's how you build a business. And hopefully, if you're working with someone who's helping you along, you're then building a business that you love, and you love your clients and you love what you do, and you're happy with it. So that's the goal. All right. I hope everyone has a great day or night wherever you are right now in the world, and I will be back again soon. Bye.